All right, stop scrolling. We need to talk about the word soft. If you scroll social media, every old head is saying high school basketball players are softer than ever. I played college basketball, I've trained athletes, and here's the truth. You aren't soft. You are untrained in discomfort. And there's a massive difference. Soft means that you break under pressure. Untrained means nobody taught you how to sit in the fire. Let's look at the data because the math doesn't care about your feelings. There are roughly 550,000 high school basketball players in the United States. Only 3.5% will play college basketball at any level. That's less, and actually less than 1% will play at the NCAA level. The odds are absolutely ruthless. But here's the problem. The culture is telling you that you are him, that you are her, before you have produced him or her results. We have an epidemic of confidence without competence. You want the viral clip, but you don't want the lonely hours in the gym when nobody's watching. Let me tell you how I learned the difference. My training was not in an air-conditioned gym with a camera crew. My training was me and my dad at the park in 90-degree heat on those summer, humid Michigan days. We weren't just shooting around. You know, he had me out there jumping rope, running suicides in that heavy summer air. You already know it can be hard to breathe out there. We would always end workouts and I had to make 50 free throws. And my dad had a rule: if it hits the rim, it doesn't count. Mind you, I started these workouts when I was 10 years old. That's when I started playing AAU basketball. I started playing when I was 9, got into the workouts when I was 10, and I was playing with the 11-year-olds. And you just have to think about that standard. Making the shot was not enough. It had to be excellent. My dad had a saying: do you want to be good or do you want to be great? And he pounded that into me, into my siblings, and it set a new standard for how we go about working out. In that discipline with basketball, it carries over to life. The heat, that was physical pain that I had to endure. That standard was the mental pressure, and it wasn't enough just to get by. I had to execute while I was completely exhausted. And while I remember some folks would be like, are you sure Raven really wants to be doing this? It's kind of, they were almost acting as if my dad was abusing me, but I wanted to be great. And he knew what it would take because he played Division I college football. And so that wasn't abuse, that was preparation for the greatness, and just elevating a standard of living. He was building something in me that could not be broken by a bad referee call or a tough coach. And that same mentality is with me for the new game that I'm playing right now, which is life. I know hoopers today that will play on a sprained ankle. That's physical pain. But tell that same player to sit on the bench, or tell them that their form is sloppy. They transfer, they quit, they blame the coach. That is emotional discomfort, and that is what you are untrained in. My dad trained me to handle the heat, literally and figuratively. But if you flee the correction, you can't handle the growth, and that's what life is about. Basketball is just a small little fragment of your overall life. It's gone like that. You play for a few years in high school, and like I said, if you are disciplined enough, if you have the work ethic, you might play at the college level, but it's highly unlikely. And so I'm sure you're wondering, why does this matter on a spiritual channel? Ultimately, if you quit when your coach isn't friendly, you will quit when life gets hard. And that's just the bottom line. We need to get back to the standard of excellence, the standard of greatness, and, excellence when nobody is watching. I know social media has a play in all of this with the instant gratifications when you post a clip where you doing some crazy awesome move and people commenting, liking, blah, blah, blah. I promise you that does not matter when it comes to playing at the next level. The coaches want to see if you can win games. If you are not competitive enough, if you do not have the work ethic enough to go out there and win by any means necessary, especially if you're a point guard, oh my goodness, the point guards that I have been seeing, I'm just like, You don't got that dog in you. You got to go and fight and win by any means possible, especially if you want to play at that next level. Maybe you don't want to play at the next level. Then, fine. That's all good. I hope you're not playing AAU and wasting your parents' money. But if you want to play at that next level, it takes a level of discipline and work ethic that, quite frankly, it seems like it's been lost. And so if you can train yourself to sit in the discomfort and get comfortable in the discomfort, you not only will be a next level basketball player, you're going to be a next level human being at life, okay? And so if you're ready to rebuild that discipline, hit subscribe. I will see you tomorrow for day 38 of 100 of this YouTube challenge of rebuilding with God at the center. I pray that this was encouraging for you on your journey. And put the work in. Ain't nothing can stop you if you put that work in. All right, I'll see you at the next video.